So in this video we're just going to run through the installation of Swift and all the associated required third-party tools. So go to the ODS Engineering homepage and click on the Swift link to bring up the Swift homepage. First thing you want to do is go to Documentation and Installation. Here there's quite detailed instructions. First of all, read the license terms and agree to those. Now the first thing you need to do as part of the installation process is install Bash for Windows. All of the required Linux dependencies for Swift use the new Windows 10 Linux subsystem, which is excellent. So I won't go through it in detail, but here is the official Microsoft documentation, and it has a very detailed description of how to do it. You shouldn't have any problems at all. If you do have any problems, it's best to chase them up through the official help on the Microsoft page itself. The only thing I will say about it is if you have choice between multiple versions of Linux, I do everything on Ubuntu 14.04. You can use a different distribution if you'd like. However, you're on your own. The only other thing is if you use the older method using LXRun and you activate developer mode, I got a warning message below in red, but I safely ignored that, and the installation seemed to go through just fine. So after you've installed Bash, you should be able to open up a command prompt and just type in bash, and there you go, you're on a Linux terminal. Next thing you need to do is install OpenFOAM. Once again, I've got the instructions here. Just copy these 4 commands one at a time into the window and it'll install OpenFOAM. Pretty simple. Once again, you can use a different version of OpenFOAM if you'd like. Swift is robust enough to be able to handle different versions, but I do all the development on OpenFOAM 2.3.1, so there might be some slight formatting and changes in other versions, especially for more complex solvers that are getting updated. But for the old solvers like Simple Foam, Potential Foam, and the basics like that, the OpenFOAM is pretty backwards compatible. These are optional libraries then that you can install. These are mostly for getting Blender and some other builds working on the system. You might need them also for compiling the foam extensions later. So after you've installed OpenFOAM, you can start up Bash, and if you try and type in Simple Foam, you'll find that the command's not found. The reason is because OpenFOAM is essentially not sourced into the environment of that terminal, so you need to load up all of the links and environment variables and set the path and everything like that. So the way to fix that is to go vim home directory.bashrc, so vim tilde.bashrc. This is just a text editor. You can use a different text editor, but you get this text file in here. And at the bottom of the text file, you can see I've already added the Blender to the path, but you have to add source opt OpenFOAM 2.3.1 etc bashrc and quit, write and quit. Now if you exit out of that bash terminal and start a new one back up again, you should find that Simple Foam can be found. The next thing to do is to install the OpenFOAM extensions. So these extensions are small utilities that have been developed by ODS, by me, to do some more advanced things. So the way to do that is you go back to the Swift homepage, go to the bottom, and there's ODS OpenFOAM extensions under the files. Download that file, and it should be in your downloads directory now. Extract it. Now you could start up a new terminal window and cd into that directory where you downloaded the foam extensions and type bash. And now because OpenFOAM is sourced automatically when a new terminal starts up, because you set your bashrc file, all of the OpenFOAM libraries should be linked in and the paths set. So all you have to do is type all wmake. The output that comes out looks a little bit scary, but these are not error messages. This is just all compile information. So if you do see an error message, it will clearly say error and then stop. It might be because you used a different version of Linux and you haven't set the right libraries, or maybe OpenFOAM's not sourced correctly, or whatever reason it is. You just need to fix that. The next step in the installation is to actually install the Swift plugin itself, and that's pretty straightforward. Just return back to the Swift homepage, download the latest version of Swift, start up Rhino and Grasshopper, and just drag and drop your downloaded Swift into Grasshopper. You should see the ODS menu appear and all the icons. The final stage in the installation is to register your version of Swift. Registering helps us to keep track of the number of users and number of active users there are, so it's very, very helpful for us, greatly appreciated. To do that, just drag and drop the key component onto the canvas. Start a new panel and check the status. You should see that you have no registration key found. Open another panel and hook up that panel to local credentials to get a local credentials key. Right click on that and copy data only. Go back to the Swift homepage and go to license key. You'll have to log in or create an account, so if you don't already have an account on the ODS website, you can create one here. I'll just log in with my username and password and copy your local credentials into there. You should get a message like this saying, "Success, you have a license key." Copy that key, add a new panel, and paste it into the panel. Connect that up to the verified key. You can add a Boolean toggle to define whether you want a system install. I have administrator rights, so I'm going to install it at the system level. Hook a button up to write key, and another button to reload the key. Write the key, and then reload the file. And it should say registration key is OK. You only need to do this once, and when this expires in 90 days, you can come back and get another key, and you can get as many keys as you like for as many different machines as you like. There is no limitation. It's purely for us to keep track of the number of users and how active they are. So that's it. That's the entire install process, and you're free to use Swift now. Please support this project. You can contact us directly or go to Patreon to look at our individual or corporate supporter packages with associated rewards.